Just when it seemed like Erling Haaland's viral summer could not possibly produce another unexpected crossover moment, he managed to top all of it with a single photograph. Days after wrapping up one of the most talked about individual World Cup runs in recent memory, Haaland shared a picture of himself standing arm in arm with none other than Michael Jordan, and the internet reacted exactly the way you would expect, with pure disbelief. In this video, we are going to walk through exactly how this meeting came together, break down the specific details fans could not stop talking about, and explore why this photo became just the latest chapter in a summer that has already redefined how thoroughly Haaland has taken over American pop culture. So let us get into everything that unfolded. To understand why this photo generated the kind of reaction it did, you have to remember exactly where Haaland's summer had already taken him by this point. He had just finished leading Norway to their first World Cup appearance in 28 years, scoring at a record-breaking pace and turning himself into a genuine household name across the United States in the process. After returning home to Oslo on July 11th, famously bringing along a taxidermied raccoon as a souvenir, Haaland barely slowed down, attending a Dolce & Gabbana fashion show in Italy alongside his girlfriend, Isabel Haugseng Johansson, just days later. That whirlwind stretch of appearances made it clear that his newfound crossover fame was not fading anytime soon, setting the stage perfectly for what would become one of the most talked about photos of his entire summer. Before we get into the details of the photo itself, take a second to hit that like button and make sure you are subscribed, because we are covering every corner of Haaland's post-World Cup victory lap as it continues to unfold. It only takes a second, and it genuinely helps the channel. Alright, let us get into it. The moment arrived when Haaland posted a picture to Instagram and X showing himself standing beside Michael Jordan, with his arm draped casually around the basketball legend's shoulder as both men smiled for the camera. True to the effortless confidence that had defined his entire summer, Haaland kept the caption incredibly simple, writing only that no caption was needed, a short phrase that let the photo speak entirely for itself. The image spread almost instantly across social media, racking up reactions from fans who could hardly believe two of the most dominant athletes from completely different sports were casually hanging out together, seemingly on vacation, dressed down in relaxed summer attire. Once the photo started circulating, fans zeroed in on every possible detail they could find. Both men appeared dressed for a laid-back summer outing, sporting sunglasses and matching shorts, with Haaland wearing a perforated black polo paired with Hermes sandals, while Jordan, at 63 years old, kept things simple in a plain white t-shirt and sneakers. Fans could not resist noting the striking contrast in styles between a global soccer superstar known for embracing high fashion and an NBA legend famous for keeping things effortlessly casual, joking that the photo perfectly captured two very different definitions of cool existing in the same frame. Perhaps the single detail that generated the most conversation had nothing to do with fashion at all. It centered entirely on height. Haaland, standing at 6'4" and long regarded as one of the most physically imposing players in world soccer, appeared noticeably smaller next to Jordan in the photo, despite Jordan's listed height being only 2 inches taller at 6'6". Fans flooded the comments expressing genuine disbelief, with one person specifically remarking that Haaland looked small for the very first time, while another pointed out just how unusual it felt to see someone typically towering over defenders on a soccer pitch appear more proportionate standing next to someone else. While photography experts were quick to note that camera angles, posture, and positioning can all significantly affect perceived height in side-by-side photos, that explanation did little to slow down the wave of good-natured jokes making their way across social media. Beyond the visual details, plenty of fans found themselves wondering exactly what these two icons from completely different sports could have possibly talked about during their meeting. Comment sections filled with speculation, with fans joking that they would love nothing more than to have been a fly on the wall listening in on the conversation between two athletes widely regarded as among the greatest to ever play their respective sports. One fan specifically noted how rare it felt to see someone make Jordan smile as widely as he appeared to in the photo, suggesting that the two had clearly hit it off during whatever time they spent together. Others focused on the mutual respect radiating from the image itself, with one commenter specifically praising both athletes, not just for their individual dominance in their sports, but for the genuine class and sportsmanship each has become known for throughout their careers. A significant portion of the online conversation centered around framing this meeting as a genuine changing of the guard moment, or, at the very least, a meeting between two athletes each considered the greatest of all time within their respective sports. Fans repeatedly used that exact framing across social media, describing the photo simply as two GOATs linking up, a label that resonated given how dominant Jordan remains as arguably the most universally recognized athlete in American sports history, paired with Haaland's own rapid ascension into a similarly recognizable global figure following this summer's World Cup heroics. That framing added an extra layer of significance to what could have otherwise been viewed as a simple celebrity vacation photo, transforming it instead into a symbolic passing of the torch-style moment between two eras and two completely different sports. This meeting with Jordan did not happen in isolation. It fit neatly into an already remarkable stretch of post-tournament attention surrounding Haaland. In a separate video released around the same time, Haaland reflected on his own favorite memory from the entire World Cup, specifically pointing to his second goal against Brazil in the round of 16 as the best feeling of the tournament, admitting that the moment felt so perfect he was not sure he fully processed it as it happened, before jokingly wondering aloud whether he would ever reach that same peak again. Between reflections like that, high-profile fashion appearances, and now a viral photo with one of the most recognizable athletes in American history, it became increasingly clear that Haaland's cultural relevance in the United States was continuing to build even after his own team's tournament run had concluded weeks earlier. Part of why this particular moment landed so well with American audiences comes down to timing and symbolism. Michael Jordan remains one of the most universally recognized figures in the history of American sports, someone whose name carries weight across generations regardless of whether a person actively follows basketball. Seeing him personally connect with Haaland, a player who had only become a widespread household name in America over the course of a single summer, offered a kind of unofficial stamp of approval that resonated deeply with fans who had already fallen for Haaland's personality throughout the World Cup. It felt, to many, like confirmation that his crossover appeal had reached a level significant enough to catch the attention of American sports royalty itself. At the end of the day, this photo became just the latest example of how thoroughly Haaland has embedded himself into American pop culture over the course of this single, unforgettable summer. From a taxidermied raccoon to a Dolce & Gabbana runway show, and now a viral hangout with Michael Jordan, his post-World Cup victory lap has continued generating headlines well beyond anything happening on a soccer pitch. Whether or not the two ever cross paths again, this photo has already cemented itself as one of the more surprising and widely discussed crossover moments of the entire summer. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you are subscribed so you catch our next video the moment another one of these unexpected Haaland stories breaks, because at this point, there is genuinely no telling who he might link up with next.